Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing with Dan Diker and Billy Doc Niles. Today's program is brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue on Highway 16 West Salem and downtown La Crosse. Big Boar Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialists on La Crosse's north side. By Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona. Pizza Hut. Now here's Dan with this week's show.
Hi, race fans. Welcoming Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV, along with Billy Doc Niles. I am Radio Man Dan Diker, totally out of dress today.
You know, Big Boar is going to fire you for being a spokesman. Why are you not wearing the Big Boar shirt?
I just totally had my mind all over the place. I was so excited when we taped the radio show this week because I knew who I was going to be having on. For those that have not heard yet, Saturday at noon on 1460 WBOG, Ty Majeski, who's running the Xfinity race at Iowa this weekend, is going to be joining us for a couple of segments. He's also at Kakon on Tuesday night, which I'll be at, doing some interviews with some guy named Mark Barton and some Bush Kyle guy. I guess I'll be bringing some video back to them. And Jody Deary, 70 years of celebrating the Rockford Speedway being around. So I was real giddy coming in today, and I didn't even know where I was.
Yeah, obviously. You know, we had a pretty good story porked out that you were at the Dan Diker benefit golf outing to you raise funds for your Oktoberfest food bill, but you know, you didn't give me a pass when I forgot my shirt.
Well, that's when I said that we had a GoFundMe page to get him a shirt. We got a big show coming up here today. Mike Peters is going to join us. Mike Ehde is going to join us, and Sam Niles is going to join us. Some interviews that Billy Doc Niles got together during Fan Appreciation. Right now, we're going to take it back to the Crosse Speedway last weekend. Here's the last two laps of this was the first of two late model races. Mother Nature could have interfered with the second one, and Steve Carlson doing well what Steve Carlson does best.
Doing what he always does best. You know, just a smooth race by Steve. I mean, and you watch the last few laps here. I would suggest if you're watching this on Thursday night, as soon as we're off, you know, as soon as we're done with the show, watch Saturday's races. Nick Paninsky and Steve Carlson put on a clinic. Carlson's so smooth, working his way through traffic to take the lead with 7 laps to go. Paninsky, you know, because of a faux pas in qualifying, ends up starting dead last. Just works his way through the field in impressive fashion. Ends up finishing third. Probably could have got second, maybe even had a shot at first if it had been a 25-lap feature. Great job by Paninsky on this race.
So feature number 2 comes around after Mother Nature had drenched the racetrack. An hour rain delay brought around. That didn't hurt Mike Carlson, Steve Carlson, or Nick Paninsky as we run the last 3 laps right here for you. Nick Paninsky pretty much did away with the field early.
Yeah, you don't know what happened with Jeremy Wagner at the beginning of this one, but he just didn't have the bite coming off the corner, and that outside lane took off. And it looked like Mike Carlson set and sail for his second feature win in 3 races, but not to be, because he also had Paninsky and his dad, Steve, right on the back of him. And, you know, they worked their way past Mikey, and they were gone. They put on a great show. Steve and Nick did the last few laps, but Paninsky was not to be denied after the hard luck he's had the last few weeks. Finally comes in and gets a feature win.
Carlson leads Paninsky by 11 points heading into the Saturdays race at La Crosse. Before we show you the Sportsman last 2 laps, we have to show you what happened inside this race. Our cameraman Jesse's going to roll the tape right here. This is in-car video of the great Brian Hesselberg and Billy Doc Niles. What a ride he went on. Yeah,
you get to see the in-car, and hopefully we get to show the out-of-car. Lockington gets loose coming off of turn 4. He's in front of the field. Hits Lethe. Hesselberg's trying to go underneath Lethe to avoid everything. He gets hit, shoved down to the inside wall. Hits the inside wall really hard. I mean, it was a hard hit because I was standing right there. Loses brakes, loses steering, shoots across the track, and of all the people to catch, points leader Randy Humfeld, and they both hit the wall hard. Luckily, they both walked away, but man, that was a couple of hard hits.
Going back to the race itself, Adam Oxborough that close, getting his first ever feature race win at the La Crosse Speedway. A late race caution comes out as we roll the last 2 for you right here. And Bad Brad Worthen from Sparta, not only Billy Doc Niles picks up his 4th win of the year right here, but he enters Saturday's race at La Crosse only 7 behind Randy Humfeld.
Yeah, he got the lucky caution with, about 5 laps to go. There was a spin. Double file restart, and Worthen just had some great bite through the corner and got past Oxborough, and he was gone. He even admitted to me, we did a quick victory lane interview. He even admitted to me he didn't think he could catch Oxborough with the 4 laps that they had left to go, but he got the lucky break, and he got the feature win. Now the points race is close again.
To the Thunderstocks we go, and we're just going to slam down the last 2 laps of that one right now. Jason Bolster, it's been the Adam Moore show the entire year. He's got 5 feature race wins, but Billy Ducknell's Adam Moore behind the winner, Jason Bolster.
Yeah, that's when this race took place. The track was really slick. We had a rain delay, and Bolster, when he got to the front, all he had to do was pass. I think it was Kyle Lockington, and he got Lockington down in the wet. He had the dry pavement, and nice bite off, and away he was gone. And there wasn't a heck of a lot of passing after that because everybody was afraid to take a shot going down low to get into that wet area. You see that little dark patch down there in 3 and 4. Everybody's pretty much afraid to go down there and try and pass because you fishtail, you're going to end up losing a couple of spots. So great job by Bolster putting Lockington down there and getting by for the win.
Bolster now 24 points behind Adam Moore for the Thunderstock points lead. 1 more to go. Let's put down the last 2 laps of the Hornet feature. Big puddle between turn 1 and 2. The driver said, let's go for this thing anyways. Some got through it, some didn't get through it. And Ben Thurk, first ever feature win at La Crosse.
Yeah, he got through the traffic first, and it looked like Bornitz was going to track him down on a white flag lap. Bornitz gets into the puddle and somehow spins out. He ends up going all the way to the back. Everybody goes by him, and Thurk had an easy time from there. That last half a lap, he was on a Sunday cruise then. Great job by Ben getting his very first career feature win.
Patrick Tickey ends up second in that race, and Cotton Kitty KK Levian finishes out third. Looking at the points for the Hornets, Bornitz does lead Caleb Levian by 11 points, and this one's going to get awfully tough all the way down to Oktoberfest. We've seen that probably 3 or 4 years in a row now when it comes to the Hornets. Jimmy Bjorkman is only 18 points back, and Cheyenne Stanfield, Ben Thurk still there in the top 5. So points-wise, a lot of drivers really don't watch the points. Well, I think they're going to be watching some of these because some of these battles are awfully close.
Oh, most definitely. Points are more important in the Hornet class and the Street Stock class. Some of these classes only race once or twice a month because they don't get out there that often. So an 18-point gap from first to third, that's a pretty big gap for a class that only runs every so often. And the Thunderstocks, Moore has this wrapped up if he just keeps on doing what he's doing. One bad week, Bolster's going to be right on top of him. And how can you top the points battles in the late models and the sportsmen right now? They're going to be fantastic all the way to Oktoberfest.
Coming up on the program, Mike Peters, Mike Ehde, and Sam Niles. Coming up in the next segment, Billy Ducknell's talked with Mike Peters, minivan driver, and late model driver Mike Ehde. That's coming up next on 7 Rivers Racing.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue. Or you don't have to drive down to Des Moines to get great pulled pork too. If you want ribs, the best in town, pulled pork or chicken too, then just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boy Barbecue.
Hi, this is Jerry Beyer, and I'm pleased to announce the opening of our new location. We're bringing our delicious ribs, pulled pork, and brisket to the north side of La Crosse. Now, if you live on the north side and you want delicious barbecue ribs, pulled pork, or brisket, now you'll find our Big Boar Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and Gillette Street every Wednesday through Sunday. We're just a short walk from your door. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout. Big Boar Barbecue. Now that's a mouthful.
Yeah!
Whatever your perfect temperature, you'll enjoy consistent comfort with the heating and air conditioning systems homeowners rank #1. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialists, providing Coulee Region families with perfect indoor weather all year long. Call for your free estimate today, 608-782-0977. Have you tried the great lunch buffet at Pizza Hut? Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1:30, Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona offers you an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet for just $5.99. All the salad, pasta, breadsticks, and of course, delicious piping hot pizza you can eat. How about dinner? Don't get up, get online and get a large 2-topping pizza for just $7.99. It's the best pizza delivery deal at your La Crosse and Winona Pizza Hut. Call for delivery or order online. Pizza Hut.
back. Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV, along with Billy Doc Niles. I'm the voice radio man, Dan Diker. One of the benefits we have of fan appreciation at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway each year is that we run a camera with our cameraman Jesse and Rick Wilson and do a lot of little mini interviews of some of the drivers that may not have a chance to come into the studio or maybe get on the radio with us from time to time. So we try to get as many as we can. I did about 5 a couple of weeks ago, and Billy Doc Niles had a chance to talk to a man that runs a minivan in the minivan class and the 6-cylinder class, and he's awfully fast. Here's Mike Peters.
One of the top guys in the minivan and the street stock class, it's Mike Peters. Mike, thanks for joining us. You've been racing quite a long time. Tell us how you got started.
Well, I started in the Hornets way back in, I think, 2001, 2002, and been going on and off now for about 15 years.
How have you been doing? How's the success been?
It's been up and down. For the vans itself, been pretty good. Street stocks, try to race a van and there's street stocks and it doesn't work out so well.
I don't know about you, but I don't know the feedback you get, but man, where I'm standing, I'm impressed that you bring a minivan out for a street stock class. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It always wanted to be something different, and van came cheap, so figured we'd come out here and run it.
You know, no, it's they started the minivan class, what was it, last year, I believe it was, and they had some pretty good numbers. The numbers pretty decent this year. Is this like the wave of the future, do you think?
No.
You're deadpanning me there, man.
No, it's not going to be, but it's fun. That's what it is. It's fun. It's a cheap way to get racing. A couple $100 and knock the windows out and come out and race.
I don't know if you can get a tight shot in here, but he's got just, oops, and I hit your mirror, you'll have to fix that. He's got just some basic safety stuff in here, just like a little basic cage, a pretty decent bucket seats, and yeah, you find a running minivan, it can't be that, it sounds like a pretty affordable way to race.
Yeah, it is. We have less than $500 in this one, and $500 is a cheap way to go racing.
And you can run it in 2 classes.
Yes.
So the street stock class, you find it a little bit more competitive as compared to the minivan class?
Oh, it's a lot more competitive. You have faster cars. I picked up a Buick Regal now, so I'm running that instead of this. And
in the street stocks?
Yeah, in the street stocks. Okay. I mean, this thing, it weighs 1,000 pounds more than everyone else, and it's got 2 foot higher center of gravity. So being competitive against them guys, it's kind of tough.
So what does the future look like for Mike Peters? You just going to hang around in street stocks and Hornets, or you ever have any idea about maybe moving up?
No, I'm just going to stay in the street stocks and the minivans and see what comes about.
You got any sponsors helping you out this year?
Nope, just me and my pocket.
Well, that's Mike Peters and his pocket and his minivan.
And again, nice to see Mike Peters running that 77 minivan over the action track quarter mile. From there, we go to the 5/8 mile. Billy Doc Niles had to talk to. This is a great interview, too. This man started racing at La Crosse many, many years ago, took a long time off, and wants to end his career here at La Crosse. And Billy Doc had a chance to talk with late model driver Mike Ehde.
We are again at Fan Photo Night here at La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Longtime competitor from La Crosse years ago, left for quite a few years. He came back. It's Mike Ehde. And Mike, great to have you back. First of all, talk about the early years here at La Crosse. What was it like for you then?
It was a lot of fun. We had met a lot of people, and actually a lot of people are still here, and we had fun, so it was good.
You gained a lot of experience running the Sportsman and the late models here, and then you left for quite a few years and went out and had a pretty darn good career while you were away from here.
Yeah, we did a little ASA stuff, and then we went in the Big 8 Series and been to Cedar Rapids, Rockford, and all over, kind of.
You know, one of the things that impressed me about reading up on you, I kept tabs on you while you were gone. Got yourself a track championship at the Dells. That had to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's probably one of my highlights of my career, besides a Spring Classic win at Rockford, Illinois. So
talk a little bit about racing at the Dells every week and then running the Big 8 Series when you could. Was it a challenge? Was it fun?
It was fun, and it was a challenge, too, to go every week to the Dells and then do your 8 or 9 races in the Big 8, try to make all of them, and we did make most of them. So we probably were in the top 10 for the last 15 years in the Big 8 Series, I think. So
that's pretty good consistency right there. Dells, the year you won the championship, talk about that season a little bit.
It was a good season. We had a lot of ups and downs there, but it came down to the last night, and I didn't know if I won it or not. I think I won the championship by 1 point over Kurt Clappert. Then the next year, Corey Jankowski won, but I got second the next year. But it was fun.
So Talk about the decision to come back to lacrosse.
I thought we'd kind of slow down a little bit and maybe not run every week or every, twice a week. Just come here and run when we can and have fun, because we started here. We're going to probably finish here sometime. I'm not sure when, but you'll be the first to know when I decide.
Yeah, you told me this at the radio interview. You thought maybe a couple of years, but I'd be the first to know. So you really haven't thought it out yet?
Not really. We'll see the way things go.
All right, who you got for sponsors helping you out this season?
We got Key Law Firm, Bob's Bar. Let's see, I better look so I don't miss
Here we go. Here's one of those guys to walk around the car.
Equipment, the Dugout 47 down in French Highland. I got to go down there and have a beer with Rick down there. D&D overhead doors, Tomcat racing engines, Weir's Machine right here in Bangor, and I think that's about it.
All right, you'll see him every Saturday, well, almost every Saturday night. I understand you got a couple of nights you got planned off this year.
I guess next week we're going on vacation, and then in 2 weeks we're going on another vacation. So.
Tell you what, that is a great story with Mike Ehde right there, starting at Crosse Speedway that many years, took a long time off, and he wants to end it where it started.
Yeah, he went out, did some great things at other tracks, track championship at the Dells, won the Spring Classic at Rockford, probably the highlights of his career, and then he decides he wants to come back home and finish it. Great way to bookend a career.
Alrighty, when we come back on Seven Rivers Racing and KQEG TV, we're going to do an interview with Niles talking to Niles. This may be a first, because I don't know if we've ever had that on this program before. Billy Dock's going to talk to Sam Niles. That and more next on KQEG TV.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue. Or you don't have to drive down to Des Moines to get great pulled pork too. If you want ribs, the best in town, pulled pork or chicken too, just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
Hi, this is Jerry Beyer, and I'm pleased to announce the opening of our new location. We're bringing our delicious ribs, pulled pork, and brisket to the north side of La Crosse. Now, if you live on the north side and you want delicious barbecue ribs, pulled pork, or brisket, now you'll find our Big Boar Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and Gillette Street every Wednesday through Sunday. We're just a short walk from your door. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout. Big Boar Barbecue. Now that's a mouthful.
Yeah!
Whatever your perfect temperature, you'll enjoy consistent comfort with the heating and air conditioning systems homeowners rank #1. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialists, providing Cooley Region families with perfect indoor weather all year long. Call for your free estimate today, 608-782-0977. Have you tried the great lunch buffet at Pizza Hut? Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1:30, Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona offers you an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet for just $5.99. All the salad, pasta, breadsticks, and of course, delicious piping hot pizza you can eat. How about dinner? Don't get up, get online and get a large 2-topping pizza for just $7.99. It's the best pizza delivery deal at your La Crosse and Winona Pizza Hut. Call for delivery or order online. Pizza Hut.
One more time, welcome back, Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV. Want to remind you folks that you can find us on YouTube. We have our own Seven Rivers Racing channel, the number 7 Rivers Racing. Also, all of our radio programs, the Whitetail Crossing Community Stores Race Report, you can hear on Saturdays at noon on 1460 WBOG. All the shows for this year are also on the Seven Rivers Racing YouTube page this year, which is really, really cool. I want to thank Station Manager Rick Wilson for doing that. You had a chance to talk to a young man who's been a part of your family for quite a while that's had some struggles this year.
Yeah, Sammy, first 2 weeks out, he got into accidents, took a few weeks off, made it back for fan photo night. Now, this is before the racing that night. Unfortunately, he had some more problems later that night, which has taken him out since. But here's my interview with my nephew, Sam Niles. We are at fan photo here at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, and I caught up with a familiar face to me and some of the fans around here. It's my nephew, Sam Niles, on the 28 car. Pretty good season last year, buddy, and not so good this year. Let's talk about last year first. It was a pretty good year till about the end of the year.
Yeah, we had some good luck. We didn't really know what to expect coming from a go-kart up to a sportsman. Things worked out for us. I think we were 7th or 8th in points last year, so that was good. A couple heat race wins, and I think this year we're kind of after a feature win, but hopefully we can get our luck to turn around from this year. It hasn't been the best, but that doesn't mean it can't change.
Yeah, it's just the first 2 times you were out here, pretty much wrong place, wrong time. There's not much you could do about it.
Yeah, it happens. It's part of racing, and it's unfortunate that it had to happen to us. But I mean, you live, you learn, you move on. How I look at it is, no matter what happens in the night, whenever we always get the car ready for the next week, I always learn something, and that's really what's important to me. As long as I'm learning and having fun doing it.
That's very good. This is a pretty impressive car. I don't know if you can get a wide shot of this. A brand new Oldsmobile this year?
Oldsmobile? No, this is a Charger body.
Charger body. Okay, well, yeah, it shows you how much I know about the new bodies. Impressive looking car, but still the same old car underneath.
Right. We decided to go with something a little bit more aerodynamic, if you will. It was time for a change, and I think it's well worth it.
Now, before you started racing sportsman here at La Crosse, you had a pretty impressive go-kart resume. Talk about your time in go-karts. That had to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was in go-karts for quite some time. We had a couple of track championships. We had a couple of top three spots in the title for a couple of years, and I mean, it teaches you a lot, and people don't really think that it would. But I mean, you get that racing atmosphere, you get the teaching of patience, and kind of the understanding of really how things work mechanically, and just kind of go from there. I mean, it's completely different racing a sportsman, but some of the knowledge carries over, and I think a lot of people would be surprised at what did.
All right, now you've got your back to the car. Do you know all your sponsors, or do you got to turn around and look at them?
I got Rudy's Feed and Seed out of Holman, Coney Island Station. I got Features in Holman. There is Premier Spine, and we have one more that just jumped on board, actually.
All right, your mom has the card right here. Do you want to look at the card?
Take a card.
Thank you, Dave Efforts. There you go. Look at the back of the
There's
card.
A shot of the card there for everybody. Premier Spine, and it looks like the new sponsor isn't even on here, so I apologize for that, but we got stickers on the other side.
All right, well, we'll take care of that later. Sammy, good luck tonight, and best of luck for the season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And that was the interview before he raced that night. Unfortunately, he had some engine troubles. He's been out since, hoping to make it back either this week or next week.
So again, I want to thank Mike Peters, Mike Ehde, and Sam Niles for joining us on the program. Again, next week, going to be kind of interesting because I'm going to be heading up to WIR in Kaukauna. I have not been at that track. I've only been there once. And that was in, I want to say 2002, when I was announcing at the 141 Speedway and the Manitowoc Expo Speedway. So I look forward to going back there. It's going to be Kyle Busch, Mark Martin signing autographs, and Seymour, Wisconsin's Ty Majeski, and some of the best super late models in the Midwest are going to be there.
Oh, most definitely. You got it topped off right there with Kyle Busch and Ty Majeski. Fredrickson's going to be there. Defending champion Prunty's going to be there. Bubba Pollard's coming up. You got a stacked, studded field here for Tuesday night's racing. I can't wait till you get back so we can tape the show, and I want to see what you got to show us when you get back.
Yep, tentatively right now I'm scheduled to do an interview with Kyle Busch for the radio and the TV show. Mark Martin's going to be signing autographs that night at WIR. I'm also going to get a chance to grab the mic and to talk to him. It's going to be interesting. He's doing a lot of promotional stuff for Ty Majeski. I had a picture on my Facebook this week of the car before it was wrapped with a bit of honey, which was announced on Tuesday. And Mark Martin wearing a Ty Majeski shirt. That's not only the first time he's done that, but he is also given him a lot of praise on Twitter, which is it's kind of interesting to see a guy like that giving so much praise to a young gun from Wisconsin.
I happened to be listening to NASCAR radio before he did the first race at Iowa, and they're interviewing him, and all of a sudden, on the fan line, Mark Martin calls in and pretty much pirates the interview with praise of Ty Majeski and how he's watched him and how he thinks he's the next big thing and how NASCAR should be looking out. This guy's coming for him. So I thought it was really cool to listen to that night.
Burning Rubber Race Reports, Paul Reichert sitting here in the studio as well. Paul, who wins at Kaukauna Tuesday night?
Hi.
You got Ty?
Ty.
Who wins Tuesday night?
Oh, boy. I would love to see Prunty go back-to-back.
I like Ty Majeski's chances because of what he just did there a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to go with Bubba Pollard.
Oh, good call.
I'm going to have to go with Bubba Pollard.
You know,
he told us.
The reason I picked Prunty, I want maple syrup at Oktoberfest.
Well, I'm getting that. Fan Appreciation at Fest, he gave me 6 bottles of that Anderson's maple syrup, which is just simply outstanding. You got to get yourself some of that. And he does it at Fan Photo. Dennis Prunty, Oktoberfest, Frederickson Fest, Majeski Fest, Bubba Pollard.
Pollard Fest?
I'd like to see Pollard at Fest.
I'd like to see him win the Dick Trickle. That would be kind of cool to watch.
Oh, man. Another big name in the record books. That would be simply something else. Again, look us up on Facebook. The Big Board Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing. I want to thank Jerry Beyer for having us out at the restaurant last week. Paul Reichert almost lost 3 fingers, and I heard you inhale the spoon.
No, that's because I was amazed at the amount of food you shoveled into your face.
And then you left and he gave me a burger.
Paul was running around just trying to get any scraps he could because you had that all right in front of you. Look at poor Paul. He's thinning down right in front of us.
Trying to eat cameraman Jesse's food before we were even done taping. I want to thank Jerry Beyer for having us out.
Yes, thank you, Jerry.
That rescheduled car show is August 16th. For Paul Reichert in the corner, our cameraman Jesse, my good friend Billy Doc Niles, I'm radio man Dan Dyker. Until next week, support your local short tracks and find us on YouTube and on Facebook. This has been Big Boar Presents Seven Rivers Racing.
You've been watching the Big Boar Barbecue presentation of Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV. Seven Rivers Racing is brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue on Highway 16 West Salem and downtown La Crosse. Big Boar Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialists on La Crosse's north side. By Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona. Pizza Hut. Join us next week at this same time for Doc and Dan and Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV.